Hey everyone, welcome back.
We're all getting ready for the holidays.
Oh yeah,
All the gatherings, all the fun.
absolutely.
But while we're, doing all that, we gotta think about staying healthy too, right?
Yes, definitely, especially with RSV and the flu going around.
Yeah, nobody wants to spend their holidays, all stuffed up and miserable.
Oh, that's no fun.
So, we're gonna take a deep dive into some research. You sent over some stuff on RSV and the flu.
Yeah, so we can all kind of figure this out together and stay healthy. Yeah, make sure you're making informed decisions going into the holiday season.
Exactly. And one thing that really jumped out at me was that RSV hospitalizations spike during the holidays, especially for infants. And that's kind of scary.
It can be, and it's something that's really important to be aware of.
So, what is it about RSV that makes it so dangerous for babies?
Well, their immune systems, they're still developing, so they haven't built up those defenses, okay, like adults have. And, RSV, it actually triggers this airway inflammation that's more intense in infants.
Oh, wow.
Because their airways are so tiny.
So, even a little bit of swelling can make it much harder for them to breathe.
Wow, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. So it's not just that they're more likely to get sick, it's that the effects can be so much more severe.
Makes sense.
Yeah. In fact, one of the articles you sent over said that RSV is the leading cause of infant hospitalization in the US.
Really?
Which is, a pretty sobering statistic.
Yeah, it is. During, a time when families are coming together.
Exactly. So we really need to be careful with the little ones. S1, yeah. Now, the flu, we hear about that every year.
Yeah.
How does that compare to RSV during the holidays?
So, the flu tends to hit all age groups.
Right?
But we know that seniors, young children, and people with underlying health conditions.
Yeah.
Those are the folks who are most at risk for complications.
So, though it sounds like RSV might be the bigger threat for the babies, but the flu, it could still knock us adults down pretty good.
And both viruses, they spread so easily, especially when we're all packed together at holiday gatherings, traveling, spending more time indoors. Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so it's the close contact, the enclosed spaces. That's the theme here.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
Because, we know the risks now.
Yeah. What can we do to protect ourselves?
That's the important question, right?
Yeah, so I know vaccination is always a big topic.
Sure. And especially now with the new RSV vaccine.
Yes.
Can you break that down for us?
So for the flu, the annual flu shot is still our best defense.
And it's not perfect, but it really significantly reduces your risk of getting sick, right?
And even if you do get the flu, it can lessen the severity.
So even if it's not, 100% guarantee, it's still worth it.
Absolutely. I think of it as, adding a layer of protection.
Okay, and then with RSV, things are a bit newer.
The vaccines that were recently approved, they're specifically for older adults who are more vulnerable to those complications and pregnant women, so they can pass on that protection to their newborns.
Oh wow, that's incredible. Like giving babies immunity before they're even born.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's a game changer. And, these vaccines work by triggering your body to create those antibodies that fight off the virus.
And while they're not, 100% effective again,
they can significantly reduce that risk of hospitalization and serious illness.
So it's not just about protecting ourselves.
Right, it's about protecting those who are most vulnerable.
Exactly. And that's where some of the other preventative measures come into play too.
Yeah. You sent over some research on mask effectiveness.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of back and forth about masks.
Oh, there has. But I was reading that while masks can't completely eliminate the risk.
Yeah.
Especially with the flu.
They can still reduce the number of viral particles we breathe in or spread.
Yeah, like adding a filter to your breathing.
Right, exactly. So it's not perfect, but it's better than nothing.
Absolutely, every little bit helps.
Okay, so we've talked about vaccines and masks.
Yeah. Are there other things we can do every day just to boost our immunity in general? Yes, definitely.
Just stay healthy.
While those are great for preventing transmission.
Right?
And you actually sent over a really interesting article.
You're right. Building up your own defenses is key.
Oh yeah.
about the impact of chronic stress on your immune response.
Yeah, it was saying that when we're stressed out, our body is in fight or flight mode,
Yeah,
which actually suppresses the immune system.
right? And that's not what we want when we're trying to fight off viruses.
No, not at all.
Or, whatever works for you.
Exercise.
So managing stress through things like mindfulness, that's a really powerful way to support your immune system, okay?
Eating a balanced diet.
And then, of course, there were all the classics. Getting enough sleep,
Staying hydrated.
all the things our parents told us. I know.
It's true.
They do know best.
They really do. Okay, so I'm feeling a little bit better about tackling the holidays head on.
Yeah,
But what if despite our best efforts, someone does get sick?
yeah.
What are some red flags that we should be looking out for?
Okay, so that's where knowing those red flags comes in for adults. Difficulty breathing is a big one. Also, a high fever that just won't go away.
Extreme fatigue, any confusion, or like a bluish tint to the skin.
Wow.
Those are all signs that you need to get medical attention right away.
Okay, those are definitely good to know. And what about for infants?
Yes,
Because they can't tell us what's wrong.
right, you have to be their advocate. So with babies, you're looking for things like rapid breathing, flaring nostrils, difficulty feeding, unusual sleepiness.
Okay?
And trust your instincts if something just doesn't feel right. It's always better to err on the side of caution and call your pediatrician.
It's like they say mother knows best, or in this case, parent knows best.
Exactly. You know your child better than anyone.
Okay, so let's say someone in our house does start showing symptoms.
Yeah.
What are the best ways to manage that situation and prevent it from spreading to everyone else?
First and foremost, isolation is key.
Okay,
We're talking separate room if possible and really minimizing contact with others.
sure.
The article you shared about flu transmission dynamics mentioned that even brief exposure can be enough to spread the virus.
Wow, so even a quick pop in to check on them
Yeah.
could be risky.
Could be, so think designated caregiver.
It's okay.
Everyone else keeping their distance. Also, good old-fashioned hygiene
Yes.
is crucial. Frequent hand washing, especially after being in contact with the sick person
Okay,
or their belongings.
can make a big difference.
It's amazing how those basic things we learned in kindergarten
I know.
still hold up.
They really do. And don't forget about those high-touch surfaces we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Wiping down doorknobs, light switches, remotes, phones, anything that the sick person has touched with disinfectant can help break that chain of transmission.
So it's like we're playing detective, tracking down the germs
Exactly.
and getting rid of them.
Yeah.
Okay, and then of course we want to make sure that the sick person is comfortable
Yes.
and hydrated.
Absolutely. A humidifier can help with congestion, and over-the-counter meds can help with things like fever and aches.
But always consult a doctor before giving medication to children.
Got it. So comfort, hydration, doctor's orders for meds. What about rest?
Oh, you're so right. Rest is essential.
Yeah.
For the body to fight off infection, think of it as giving your immune system the energy it needs to do its job.
So it's not just about feeling better. It's about actively supporting the healing process.
Exactly. And this brings us back to that wellness plan concept that we were talking about earlier. We can actually incorporate some of these preventative measures into our holiday gatherings to make them safer for everyone.
I love that idea. It's like we're not just hoping for the best, we're taking charge and making a healthier environment.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Something as simple as setting up a hand sanitizer station by the food table or, encouraging guests to bring their own drinks to minimize sharing.
I'm picturing those little signs at restaurants that say sanitize before entering, but festive.
Yes, make it fun. You could even have a contest for the most creative wellness tip of the night.
I love it, yeah.
It's about normalizing these healthy habits and making it part of the celebration.
Right? And don't be afraid to have those open conversations. Let your guests know that you're taking precautions and encourage them to do the same. It's about creating that culture of shared responsibility.
It's like we're all in this together.
Exactly. And that's the spirit of the holidays, isn't it? Caring for one another.
Okay, this has been so helpful. I feel like I've gone from feeling kind of anxious about the holidays to actually feeling empowered and prepared.
That's what we aim for. Knowledge is power. And now you've got all these strategies to protect yourself and your loved ones.
And you know what? Even if someone does get sick,
Yeah.
which can happen,
Of course.
you talked about how to manage that too.
Absolutely. It's about being prepared, not panicked.
I like that. Prepared, not panicked.
Exactly.
Okay. So to recap, we've demystified RSV and the flu.
Yes.
We've explored why the holidays can be a risky time for these viruses to spread.
And we've armed ourselves with a whole bunch of preventative measures.
We have,
From vaccines to hand washing to creating our own wellness plans.
yeah.
We're ready to embrace the holidays with joy and a healthy dose of caution.
Here's to a happy and healthy holiday season for everyone.
Cheers to that?
Yeah, it's about being prepared, not panicked.
Like that. Prepared, not panicked.
Exactly.
Okay, it feels good to have a plan.
It does.
Right. Instead of just crossing our fingers and hoping for the best, right?
We can actually take steps to make this holiday season both merry and healthy.
I think that's a key takeaway, from our deep dive today. Okay. We've unpacked so much information about RSV and the flu.
We have,
But the real power is in applying that knowledge.
exactly, we've gone from feeling kind of overwhelmed by all the headlines
Yeah.
to actually feeling excited about the holidays.
Yes. And you mentioned wanting to have a big family gathering this year.
And maybe think about how you can arrange the space
Okay.
to allow for more airflow, or even consider having a designated quiet zone for anyone who needs a break from the excitement.
Oh, I love the quiet zone idea.
Especially with little ones, who might get overstimulated.
Yeah.
It's like creating a little haven of peace within the party.
Exactly. It's about being, thoughtful and proactive. And, if weather permits, maybe even move some of the festivities outdoors.
Fresh air and festive cheer.
There you go.
What's not to love?
Exactly.
This has been such a helpful deep dive.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I have a whole new perspective on holiday health.
And I hope you, dear listener, feel the same way. Remember, knowledge is power, and you now have the tools to make informed decisions about your health and the well-being of those around you.
So to recap, we've demystified RSV and the flu.
Yes.
We've explored why the holidays can be a risky time for these viruses to spread.
And we've armed ourselves with a whole bunch of preventative measures.
We have,
From vaccines to hand washing to creating our own wellness plans.
we're ready to embrace the holidays with joy and a healthy dose of caution.
That's it. Here's to a happy and healthy holiday season for everyone.
Cheers to that. Happy holidays, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.